What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel if you're new. I'm Mojo GT, and today we're going to start off with the Bible verse. Caden, my cousin, recommended 2 Corinthians 4:16, so we're going to open up to that, read that Bible verse before we get started today, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, 2 Corinthians 4:16 reads, "That is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day." That's awesome. Keep pushing, guys. That's phenomenal. Thank you so much, Caden, for recommending that Bible verse. Drop down another one in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and see you guys at the end. What's up, GT gang? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mojo GT. This is Martha, my Procharged 426 Hemi powered 2006 Dodge Charger SRT8. And today, as you can see, we're up in the air. I do have to fix an oil leak that is a very simple fix, but it takes a lot of work to get there. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. In order for you to understand this oil leak, you have to understand how the factory harmonic balancer works. So the factory harmonic balancer is a press fit all the way around using no keyway. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll actually pin the crankshaft in the harmonic balancer because it's just a press fit. You put a dowel pin there when you Procharge it. That way you don't spin the dampener on the crankshaft. The ATI hub that comes with the ATI dampener has a keyway in it, and that keyway also comes with its quirks. So that keyway is actually causing a seepage of oil going through that keyway around the woodruff key, behind the crankshaft bolt washer, all the way down, and I can't make this up, all the way down, and a very slight drizzle. I mean, one drop in the course of the 6 months I've had this driving. But I want to fix this, and I don't want this to be an issue. I definitely don't want it to get worse. So let's go ahead and tackle this. I need to remove the front bumper, drain the coolant out of the radiator, pull the radiator, separate the front of the car essentially, and take a bolt out, put RTV behind that bolt, put that bolt in, then put everything back together. So this is kind of the perfect time to do it. I have all day. I'm going to pull the whole front end of the car apart. I might even have to pull my intercooler, which really sucks. Good thing I didn't charge my air conditioning. But anyway, I don't have my tripod. It's at home. If I do end up having to go home for anything else other than my tripod, I will go ahead and grab my tripod, bring it back, and set you guys up. But I'm pretty much just going to give you guys an update on how everything's going. Pull the bumper off, pull the headlights out. And I mean, this car is going to be completely torn apart. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll let you guys know when there's an update. All right, guys, I got RTV on the washer. That sure enough, it was full of oil inside the damper. I know it looks like a lot, guys, but I put all the way around, filled the keyhole with it, and I put some in the washer. I don't want this to happen again. There was so much, I don't want to say so much, but there was enough oil to make it look like a front main leak. And I don't have any other leaks in the car, so I'm hoping that it's just this seeping through, making it look like a front main leak. So I'm going to try this first and then go from there, see where it goes, see if it continues to leak. And if it doesn't, then we know we fixed the problem. Let's throw this back together. We have this pre-filter over the blow-off valve to protect from rocks or even potential heavier things to get into the blow-off valve. That's pretty much it. We have it filled up with coolant. It's not leaking. Everything seems to be good. We're just leaving the cap off for right now. I'm not going to start this today. I'm going to probably wait a while to start it so that that RTV can set up. I guess I'll just keep you guys updated as soon as I can, get you at the next time when I run it or work on it in general. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so just downloaded the or just uploaded the new wide open throttle pull. This will be the second wide open throttle pull tune installed in the car. First time went really good. It was pretty rich. It was running 10.4 roughly is the lowest I saw. So I'm assuming this tune will be a little bit closer to 11.5. That's the goal. This thing should feel like a totally different car the closer we get to 11.5. Because obviously you're going to run the most optimum the closest you are to fuel detonation. So the closest we get to that detonation mark, the better and more power it'll make. Start this up. He hasn't heard it since the first time it started, so let's let her eat. Try to ride in 5th gear in town when I can. Yeah. I can ride in 5th gear at about 40 miles an hour, but I can only go in 4th at like 30, so. Looks like we're gonna be dodging some rain today. my dad. And today we are working on Martha again, of course, except now we are working on a issue where under wide open throttle, we have a little discrepancy between driver's side and passenger side air-fuel ratios. And at first, it wasn't a prominent issue, but under wide open throttle condition, we're getting a large discrepancy between passenger and driver's side. So the way my fuel system is routed is going to be a picture. I'll put it in right now. As you can see, the fuel is ran in series. Therefore, my supply goes to the start of one rail, crossover at the end of the first rail to the end of the second rail, and then from the end of the start of the second rail goes to the regulator. Regulator goes to return line back to the tank. So what we're thinking is under wide open throttle condition, I have a loss of fuel pressure giving me less fuel on my driver's side since it is second in line to the passenger side. Really no way to tell that with my setup. If I were to run a digital gauge to the cabin, I'd be able to actually see that take place. But with the large discrepancy in AFR between banks, almost guaranteed that's what it is. I also talked to a few people that tell me that this is not the setup I should run. I should run it this way, and I'll actually put a picture in that right now. All right, so based on this picture, I know it might be hard to see, might have to zoom in, but bear with me. So at the top left, we're starting with the passenger side. You can see that is the sending unit. Driver's side sending unit is in the top right. So I've got it labeled supply return. So this is how the Holley system is just generally ran. From the driver's side, you put a crossover line from the supply, which is capped off on the top of the hat. You will run from the pump essentially to the passenger side supply, and then it basically daisy chains at the passenger side supply. You put a fitting on the top of the fuel sending unit on the passenger side. I run that through a 10 micron inline fuel filter. Run out of that into a 4 Innovations Y is what I'm putting in. It's a Y block, and then from that Y block, you're going into each fuel rail. That way you are running it in parallel, which means you're supplying each fuel rail individually. So we're supplying fuel to each driver and passenger side fuel rail at the same rate. They leave the fuel rail at the same rate, and they each go into each side of the fuel pressure regulator. Leaving the fuel pressure regulator is the return line, and then that black rectangle is my ethanol content sensor. So we're running through that, and then we Y at the fuel tank and run a line from that Y to each return side of the fuel tank. And each fuel sending unit has a return bung at the top, so that's where we have the return lines ran. That's how it's going to be ran. The only thing that's really changing is we're running it from series to parallel. So anything past the filter is basically what changes. So from the fuel filter to the regulator is the only thing that's different. We are running in parallel, not to be redundant, but the purpose of this is to supply the fuel rails individually. That way you don't have a loss of fuel by the time it gets from the first rail to the second rail. The people that are tuning me, Soterra Tuning and Freddie, if you guys know him on TikTok, he's got a 700 horsepower RT with a stock bottom end that he's actually building the motor for right now. But anyway, he said that he ran this way as well and had this exact same issue, switch it to a parallel setup, and it fixed the problem. So we're really hoping that's all it is, because once I hit about, what, 5,950 RPMs, basically right between 5,900 and 6,000 RPMs, it started a misfire. It had happened simultaneously as I let off the throttle, so I'm not 100% positive whether it was me letting off the throttle is when the misfires happened, or the misfires happened and I let off the gas. It almost happened at the exact same time. So even with the data log slowed down, I wasn't able to determine when that happened. So after verifying with Soterra Tuning that this is a setup we need to run, we're just going to take this apart. I bought a bunch of fuel lines and or a bunch of fuel fittings and fuel line. So we're going to go ahead and start taking this apart. I'm going to take this intake charge pipe off, and we'll have access to the top of the filter, which, as you guys know, I put on my frame rail. Take that off. There is no real way to bleed off the pressure here, so we're just going to crack it with a rag and
let it bleed off. So, and then we'll be able to take these apart, start routing the lines. And I'm waiting on a parallel Y block from 4 Innovations. And just ask me any questions down below and I'll be happy to answer them. We have the passenger side rail with a 180. This obviously isn't buttoned up quite yet. So 180 going across the runners through to the left side of the regulator. And then the right side of the regulator goes across 180 to the driver's side. So the post rails is done. Just need that Y block from 4 Innovations, and once I have that, I'll be able to button this up. All right, guys, so here's what the contraption that we made up. We have the 45 going into a straight into the 4 Innovations Y block. One side of that is a straight, or the this Y block is a parallel output. So as you can see, your input comes in right here, and then your parallel output. I like how clean this is going to make it look, as opposed to a traditional Y, where the 2 outputs would be going like this. So this is going to look way better, way cleaner, and this is what progress we've made. So we've got this made up, just tightened it all up together. We have the rear side of the rails ran, installed. We're pretty much just have to install this and then put the intake piping back together and start it up. All right, guys, we're about to start it up. My GoPro battery's low and my storage is low, so we're gonna try to do this as fast as we can. Put pressure to the system by priming the pump a few times. No leaks. We're gonna start it up and see how it looks. Ready, Dad?
I'm ready.
Dude, beforehand, I'd have this pulsing.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, I know I had to kind of cut it off at a decently good part, it seemed to be, but I can't find any other footage in this exact moment. So it was really tough to edit this video because my father passing away, but it's really cool that I can have these memories forever, which is awesome. So thank you again so much for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate you. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Check me out on TikTok, Instagram, whatnot. Yeah, God bless. Thank you so much for watching the video. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.